Did you get a private placement platform than ours, and now you got money stuck and you can't get money out? In this video, I'm going to share with you 5 case studies of clients that before they met us, they went into 5 different private placement programs, how they got money stuck, and how we help them get their money out. You've got to watch this video. Hey, I'm Taimour Zaman from AI. My organization is a world-class leader in providing access to recourse, non-recourse loans, monetizing banking instruments, as well as assisting business owners to get into safe private placement programs, as well as buy and sell programs that actually pay out. I want to tell you, as an entrepreneur for the past 20 years, when I started my so-called entrepreneurship business, I was looking for capital constantly and regularly. The challenge that I found with banks is that the bank CEOs, the guy first of all graduated from some Ivy business school, which is awesome, went to the 44th floor, didn't understand what small business owners need on a constant regular basis, and then got a promotion, went to the 77th floor, has no clue what my business needs, what my finances, the financing that I require for business acquisition, what my family needs, and I just feel like way far, what I need and what banks offer me. The delta is just way too big. I discovered private placement programs. I got scammed not once but twice. I learned a lot. I now have a former FBI person, former CIA agents. I know what are all the right questions to ask. I'm now a client of a private placement program that actually pays out, as well as have been instrumental at creating hybrid private placement programs with my financial partners. That's a buy and sell program. And the purpose of this video is not a solicitation video. I'm not trying to solicit business or anything like that. It's only for educational and entertainment purposes. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go ahead and subscribe now. You'll get access to strategies, customer walkthroughs, customer case studies, mirroring of funds, how to work with banks. You'll like cool things that nobody seems to be educating the public about. So please go ahead and do that now. This year we saw, there was a number of challenges that our clients hired us to help them with. And I want to share 5 of the big ones that we felt were very common, that we help our clients get their money out or think about a better strategy or do something different, that I want to share with you.
We always deal with banks, and you opened a completely new avenue for us. It was a scary path initially, but the time and the explanation that you put forward for us was so interesting that we are now drawn in with complete confidence and trust, hoping that our future relationship is much more beneficial for us.
So ultimately, we are looking to gain access to capital through some innovative financial strategies that you shared with me to be able to scale our business up to the next level.
But what I got from you guys today is phenomenal. You answered so many things that were in the unseen to me, as far as custodial banks and non-recourse loans. It's amazing what you threw out there at me, and that was just a small piece of the pie, I know.
Number one out of 16,000 people that claim they're a private placement program provider are truly a private placement provider. How that translates to you is that if you're an entrepreneur, you're looking for money, honest to God, you have better chances of going to Vegas and rolling the dice, because there's a lot of fraudulent programs out there, and these fraudulent programs, unfortunately, they're getting better and more sophisticated at what they do. And the average American, the average Canadian, the average European, Australian, they're not trained with this kind of a sophistication of lies that these fraudulent providers provide. Having said that, if you want to participate in something that's called a private placement program, especially when it's small cap, which is less than $100 million, is considered small cap. The offer may be put up $250,000, put up $5 million, put up $15 million. and all of a sudden we're going to give you $2 billion, or they will say, we're going to take your money, we're going to put it in this bullet thing, and it's going to become like $1 trillion, and then you're going to trade and you become like the world's wealthiest person. These things are all lies. They're designed to create an imagination. And I just want to tell you, I've been in this business for a long time. I'm in a real private placement program myself. That's a massive bull claim that 99.999% of these managing directors, brokers, what I call joker brokers, can't claim. I'm actually a client of them. I've been instrumental with working with 2 of my financial partners to create a hybrid. These bullet things that, put $250,000 or $2 million, and so on becomes $2 billion in a bullet trade. And then you go to this other program these are just sophisticated, made up lies that sounds very, very convincing. Now, when clients call me and say, hey, I want to go into one of these, my first advice is use ours, because it doesn't promise you trillions of dollars. Our hybrid program, which is our low entry point, so buy and sell, it's not even a private placement program. Clients have to put up $550K. They get $5 million. $5 million. Please, I'm just not a solicitation. I'm not trying to solicit business. What I'm just doing is a comparison of some guy who says put $2 million and you're going to get $20 million every day or every other day or every other week. Whatever the deal is, my invitation is think about it. Maybe that's a better way. Now, if I was in your shoe, the case study, the stories I want to share with you is I would ask the provider to show their level 8 banking license. Level 8 banking license is one of the most significant, highest banking licenses you can have. Not too many people have a level 8 banking license, and it's the ability for a banker, investment banker, to block funds. It just shows that these people are real now. Second option I have for you is to retain our former FBI, CIA agents that you can hire from AI to do a background check. Whether you're putting $250,000 or $2.5 million or $20 million in a program, I think it is to your advantage to pay $10,000 for a former senior person who knows how to vet these things out to the background check to help you make sure you don't get into any kind of mistakes like that, because you'll get money stuck or your money will disappear. One of our clients, this is a case study, put up $2.5 million in a program. It was a buy and sell program, and they were waiting for $100 million to come out. And the day of the $100 million didn't come out. They had to wait another 30 days. It didn't work out. They waited for another 30 days. And they were just fed lies after lies after lies. Eventually, they hired us to get involved and to look behind the scenes on what was going on. When we contacted the platform to say our legal team is going to be working to freeze the assets of the organization worldwide, we had the ability to do that. Then what we discovered was this particular group they thought they're going to be working with a private placement provider, but that who they thought was a private placement provider was another group that had fooled this group, and that group was fooled by another group, and the other group was fooled by another group. So it was 4 different groups, and it was amazing how people fool one person, fool the other, and then fool the other. And this just goes to say these scam artists that claim they run buy and sell programs or claim they do private placement programs are sophisticated and getting better at their art of sophistication. And that's what we discovered was, here's a program that had paid money out before, and now all of a sudden there's 4 groups, and they're all stuck at nobody knows how to get money out of these guys. And it's just because it's one group after another group after another group. And then all the kids are not coming to the dinner table at 7 p.m. on time for anything to get executed. So it's just been a massive challenge. Now, I'm going to show you a redacted LinkedIn picture. You're going to see a redacted LinkedIn picture of somebody who claims that they are direct to a private placement provider. And then what I'm going to show you right after is a message that somebody who claims they're direct to a private placement provider has reached out to me directly to say, hey, can you help me get into a private placement program with my client? Just for you to see how these fraudulent artists work on places like that. If you want to go into these kinds of work with what I call joker brokers, if I was you, on case number 2, what I would do is I would ask the group you want to work with who's the issuing bank of the instrument, because $500,000 has to turn into $5 million somehow, or 5 billion, whatever the promises they're making. Ask them who's the issuing bank of the instruments, who's the buying bank of the instrument. And what I would do if I were you is to call the banks, the guy who is issuing, or allegedly the bank that is issuing it, and allegedly the bank that's monetizing it. And if I were you, I would call the wiring department. Don't call the teller, the retail division. You have to call the wiring department. Ask them, what's the cost of wiring stamp letter of credit or medium-term note, whatever they are trading? Ask them, what's the cost of it? Then call the monetizing bank and ask, what's the cost of when you monetize something, cash it out, send it back to you, what's the cost of that? Then go to the buy and sell group, or the people that claim they're on private program. Ask them how much money they've raised so far. Ask them if they can't show you how much money they've really raised, to have their attorney provide you an attestation letter on how much money they have. And then you put 2 and 2 together. If what they've raised is, let's say, 5 million, but the wiring cost alone is 15 million, the probability of their deal being executed and for you to get paid back is simply not. And that's why I say you have better chances of either working my organization. Again, I'm not trying to solicit, I should say working with one of our authorized dealer brokers who have licenses to do this, or going to Vegas and rolling the dice. Number 3, we got instrument. So this is a couple that called us after the money got stuck. They got a 500 million euro instrument in Deutsche Bank, and they can't get the money out. This particular couple is an American couple. It's a husband and wife. The wife had a previous husband who unfortunately passed away. She got money from insurance. The new husband topped up that money, and they went into something called a private placement program. A 500 million euro SBLC got issued to their name, and the beneficiary bank is Deutsche Bank. They don't have an account with Deutsche Bank. They have no idea. They don't even have an account in Germany. And they've never earned more than, like, let's say $66,000 a year. And so, like, if you were a banking officer at Deutsche Bank, would you give that couple money? Like, that's something for you to think about. Unfortunately, a lot of business owners, couples, people who try to go into private placement programs, they need access to capital. They don't know these things. That's why we get hired after the fact, which makes our job 50,000 times difficult. And the challenge is, some instrument got issued to Deutsche Bank. They can't get the instrument issued to them. They don't have an account with Deutsche Bank to even monetize it. Now here comes the biggest challenge. They also don't have money for wiring fees. So to call the issuer and say, rewire this to my bank, or to call Deutsche Bank and say, please rewire to my bank, somebody has to pay the wiring fees. When they get an investor to the table, the problem with the investor is the instrument is in their name, it's in a couple's name. So when they get $500 million, there's no guarantee for any investor that they're going to get paid $3, $4, $5 million for the wiring fees that they put up, right? So that becomes a massive challenge. So what I would suggest, if you want to get into these kind of programs, whatever the fees are that you're told that you have to put up, please have backup fees. If you don't have backup fees, you need to have an investor lined up before you get into it, for you to have a backup fee. Otherwise these things really backfire. Next one is we actually got a client who got a stamp letter of credit. This is my 5th case study. Client got a SBLC from HSBC London. After they got it, what they discovered is they can't monetize it. Why? Why would a SBLC from HSBC London not be monetizable? In this case, because what got issued was something called manual GPI download. Now I can write you a book on what a manual GPI download is. In a nutshell, there are some uncertainties about the, not uncertainty is probably the wrong word I'm using, but there's some things about the source of funds. It could be heritage funds, it could be off-ledger funds. There's like a bunch of the reasons why a bank would issue a manual GPI download. The person, the client who bought this instrument, let's say the market price for HSBC 100 mil instrument SBLCs, let's say in the low 50s. They bought a little bit cheaper, it was like 48. Not paying attention to look underneath the hood of the car, and all of a sudden they got an instrument that they can't monetize. So now they have to come up with the money to reissue it, or ask the issuer if they could reissue it again, assuming the issuer has agreed to pay for the wiring fees again, which made this particular buyer, this particular group, trying to raise once again money, trying to figure out just to pay out their old investors because they got an instrument that's not monetizable. These things are very, very complicated, and my advice is to hire financial consultants, advisors, private equity firms who do this on a day-to-day basis. Pay them whatever retainer fees these people are charging. That's my advice. so that they can help you as a business owner actually get the money you're looking for, because these things are complicated by nature and you need to have expertise on it. That's my little 2 cents. Now, in the following videos to this video on SBLC monetization, I'm going to show you the bearing of funds from one legal jurisdiction to another. I'm going to show you how to monetize SBLCs quicker, cheaper, better, faster, how to pick law firms to better serve you, like that. If you're interested in this area, please take a moment to visit linecredit.ai, book a consulting call with us. It's a paid call. We're going to be happy to answer a lot of your questions that you have. In a minute from now, I'm going to answer some frequently asked questions. On behalf of my team at linecredit.ai, we look forward to the opportunity of serving. Thank you. Hey friends, so in this part of the video, I'm going to talk about the frequently asked questions we get from you, the viewer. Number one biggest question, I guess, Taimour, we watch a lot of your videos. We like to engage your organization in helping us access capital that traditional banks wouldn't be able to provide to us, or help us monetize a banking instrument, or help us understand how to go into a private placement program. How do we engage you and your team? And the answer is in 3 specific ways. One, and it's the best way, is to go to our website, linecredit.ai, and book a consulting call with us. Me or any of our senior associates would be happy to meet with you, understand the project, understand the challenges you're dealing with, and help you through it like that. We get a lot of compliments for our ability to execute when others can't, for years of experience and expertise for sure. The second is you can get a copy of our book, Hypergrowth, How to Connect to Customers and Investors in New Ways. You get access to various investment strategies, how to talk to a banker, how to connect to a customer, how to get your next investor like that. The third is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll access customer walkthroughs, case studies, strategies, banking instruments, closing of banking procedures, like a lot of stuff that sometimes your own banker wouldn't even know some of these strategies and content, or nor would your chief financial or legal officer like that. So I highly recommend subscribe to our YouTube channel. The second question, I guess, Taimour, when companies are choosing you or linecredit.ai, why are you guys winning compared to alternative options? In the past, my answer would have been because we provide higher LTV, or when we provide capital, we can provide far more than your bank can, and we cover geographies internationally that perhaps your bank doesn't. In the past 2 years, what I've really started to discover is the reason a lot of chief legal officers, CEOs, capital companies are choosing us consistently is simply because of our years of experience, our expertise, and our ability to execute. Next question that I usually get is, Taimour, which customer base do you best serve? If I was your ideal customer, who am I? The truth is, everybody in our team speaks English somewhat fluently. And so I like to think that we are best relevant to business owners that are English speaking, people around the world. You must have some kind of liquidity ready to go, a minimum of $1 million for sure. You need access to a large amount of capital, whether it's cash, whether you want to monetize a banking instrument or participate in a private placement program. That's the market we typically serve. We operate just like a law firm. So when you contact us, it becomes a billable hour, and what you're paying for is our years of experience, our expertise, and to really be able to execute on projects that your banker or your chief legal counsel or whoever you work with typically can't help you with. This is a funny question, and I get this often. I hear that there's a lot of litigations against some of our competitors, whether it's a private placement program or a bank that promised to loan money they didn't, whatever the deal is, and how come we don't have any litigations against us? There's 2 answers to that. The first answer, the corporate answer, is that me and our team operate in a very high level of integrity. We take on projects that we can deliver on, like all that corporate stuff. Now there's a truthful answer, and the truthful answer is me as a CEO of linecredit.ai. My vision hasn't been big enough for me to try to disrupt the world, and I failed at that vision, because if you look at the largest corporations or the largest brand names in your household, whether you use Google, whether you drive a Ford car, whether you have tunnel, when you have headache like that, a lot of the brand names in your household that you use have litigations as part of their business. Look them up, look at their financial statements. They all have lawsuits against them. And so I feel the fact that we don't have any litigations, or we don't have people on social media bad mouthing us or creating drama stories like that, is my failure in trying to push the company at a new heights like that. And that's the truthful answer on why we don't have litigations against us for sure as of the the day we're shooting this video. The final question I do want to answer is, Taimour, we've seen a lot of brokers who have made millions and millions of dollars working with your firm in less than a year. Do you have any kind of a program, because I'm interested in becoming an associate or broker within your organization? The answer is yes. If you go to linecredit.ai, we're always looking for brokers who have experience. Our target brokerage is a broker who has a book of business, who comes from the financial services industry, whether it's retail banking, wealth management, is a former legal attorney, like that. Those are the target audiences we like to work with, just because what we offer is so niche, so sophisticated, and so wanted. And it's ideally an institution or a brokerage that has a bunch of agents, and they're looking to provide some advisory services, some banking expertise that they simply don't have right now. My name is Taimour Zaman. My team and I look forward to the opportunity of working with you. Thank you very much for your time.